Go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our live paint-along.
Hello.
It's so great to be with you guys. It's been a long time because we took a break for the holidays, and now we're back. And today, I'm super excited for this project. So our LMA Matter recipient is for Lydia. So if you bought the January projects, we usually include a Let's Make Art Matter recipient that we can hand paint cards to and mail them. And this, what we're painting today, is embroidered flowers. I'm gonna do the
Sorry, I was reading comments.
and
What are you painting? Wait.
embroidered flowers.
There it is.
And we did this because our recipient really loves fiber arts. And I kind of have a slight obsession with, I've never embroidered myself. I haven't. But I really love the art of it. I think it's beautiful. And especially when people combine watercolor with embroidery, it's stunning. I have some examples to show you, which we'll get into that later. So let me go over the supplies that you're gonna need for this, and then we'll go through our announcements, and then we'll get to painting, okay?
Let's do it.
So for the setup, you're gonna want around 10 or 12, just a larger brush, around 6 and a liner, and also pens, because we're gonna be doing a lot of line work with our pens. This is what's gonna create that kind of like thread look. And also you can use different colored pens if you that you want to try that maybe you picked up like on clearance somewhere. Like this is a great project to try it with. You can really bring in different elements to this painting. And then for the colors, you're going to want magenta, azure blue, deep yellow, and orchid. Okay?
Sounds excellent.
And I cut my postcard down into a 5x7. So that's the size that I'm working with. And so if you guys want to get your little area set up, that's great. I'm going to go through the announcements. Okay? I'm taking a breath, breathing. How are you guys doing? So good? We got a hi from Fresno. Hi from Lee Summit. That's not far from us.
That is not far.
Stephanie says hi. Hi, Stephanie. How you doing? Okay. Our announcements. We have just a few days left for you guys to get the January projects, okay? So if you're interested in painting our gorgeous January projects, you have until the end of the month, January 31st. After that, they're gone, they're closed into the vault. You will be able to purchase them individually through the archive. It's probably not gonna be open for a few more months, so just letting you know. Second announcements. If you guys have been following along on our weekly YouTube tutorials, you will see that we have been painting in our calendar.
Excellent.
We've so far done January and we've painted February. Pretty soon we're gonna release the March tutorial. And these gorgeous watercolor calendars have sold out.
Pause, please. We're going to do an executive. People are having some skipping issues. I'm going to do an executive thing. Everyone hold real quick. Okay?
Okay.
Ready, set. I think we're back. Keep going, Sarah. Let's see. Let's see if it worked. Everyone tell us if this worked.
Let us know if that worked. Michael just tried something to help with skipping on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Okay. So our watercolor calendars have sold out because you guys are super excited about them, which is so great.
So fun.
So we put in another order with our printers. Once I have an ETA of when we will have those, I will let you guys know. We're really hoping to get them in the next 4 to 6 weeks, but I don't want to give that a hard date yet because I don't want to promise something that I can't honor. You know what I mean?
So that's probably the best way to do it.
So once I know, I'll let you guys know and we can keep going. In the meantime, the tutorials will release as normal. Okay, Joanne says you're back. Leslie says you're back and it's looking better so far.
Awesome.
Amy says Michael is a wizard.
I am. All I did was just slap my computer real hard. You know?
No, you just turn it off and turn it back on.
That is the secret to fixing all electronics. You don't have to call anyone. Just turn your stuff back off and on.
Try that. And what's funny is I never think that that's actually the answer. And so then when I call Michael that something's not working, he always says without fail, did you try restarting it? And I go, no. And then I restart it and it works. And it's like, ah.
Someone who's worked in customer service or customer support, you can tell when people are lying because people are like, yeah, I did. I'm like, I don't know. Did you?
Try it one more
Try
time.
one more time while I'm on the phone with you.
By customer support, you mean me.
Yes.
Okay. And the very last announcement that we have is we will be doing a full reveal of the February projects at the end of this tutorial. And the colors are going to be the same. So whatever colors I had listed for January, there are no new colors for February. But we do have an addition of a micron pen. This one is sepia. You can do, or sepia. You can do a sepia micron pen or a black micron pen, just a pen. And when I reveal the projects, you'll see why. Okay?
All right.
But-
Joanne says I'm looking fetching even though she's never seen me. So.
Oh, he's always looking fetching. Absolutely, he is. He's blushing.
Stop that. I am.
Okay. That's it. All right. So for this project, before we dive in, this is kind of like where I want you guys to be. I want you to think about loose, wet on wet washes, and then starting to look at creating shapes and flowers out of whatever happens on your paper. And if you go to like something like Pinterest and you search like embroidered watercolor or watercolor and embroidery, you're gonna see some really gorgeous abstract kind of style art. Some of it is not super abstract, but it's just stunning. And it reminds me of a print that Michael got me for Christmas from an artist called Walker Boys. He does gorgeous embroidery on painted like fabric and canvas. And I'm devastated that the original sold out because when I saw it, I just like gasped. And by the time I clicked through to look at the original artwork, it was sold. So for Christmas, Michael got me a print of it. And so I wanted to show you guys.
Oh, it's so lovely.
Is it?
Yes.
It's stunning.
Yes. Wow.
Every time I see it, I just like, I love it. And so this is a print, but the actual one is fabric. And you can see here that has been painted or dyed because you see some textures in different colors. And then he goes in and he embroiders on top of it.
Wow.
And it is just completely, anyways, here's another print from him. That is also, I mean,
Wow.
Look at it.
Dang.
I love this style. And so when I was reading about Lydia, who is our recipient, and she said she really loves embroidery and fiber arts, I was just like, yes, I know exactly what we're going to do. And so what we're going to do is try and recreate this feeling just using watercolors and pens. Okay?
All right. I'm excited.
I love it. One more time, you guys. Just come on.
Dang.
Look at that. Okay. Thank you for indulging me. Mm-hmm. Now we're going to get to painting. So.
Wait, what do we do first?
You're really good at your job.
The bell is bright yellow. Can I show everyone? Can I show everyone watching? Can you show everyone?
Sure.
Show them what the bell is.
Here's our bell.
This is the bell.
This is
That's the one that rings.
the bell.
Now you guys know.
It was sent to us from a llama. Isn't that great?
That is. All right. What is the artist's name again of that?
Walker Boys, Boyes. I found him on Instagram.
He's awesome. All right. Sorry. Back to the oath.
No, don't be sorry. That was a great question. If you can raise your right hand and repeat after me, I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise not to compare my work.
I promise not to compare my work.
And I promise to have fun.
I promise to have fun.
Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So what we're doing here for our initial wash is we're not necessarily trying to make anything specific. We're not trying to match exactly what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to warn you guys now that whatever I paint is going to look different from this. Okay. Because it's very go with the flow. This is very, we're just going to drop in color and see what happens. Okay. So let's start by just using water and our round 12. And just kind of doing some water in the center. I'm not going all the way to the edges, and we'll play with it later, okay? And then I'm just gonna take some colors. So let's start with maybe some magenta. And you can just like drop it. You can even do another water drop on top, okay? And then maybe a few strokes. Like kind of just let that move. And let's mix a little bit of orchid with magenta because it makes just the most delicious color. Let's try drop that here. And so here you can tell that the area is not wet, so that color is staying in place. And then it's so fun when it does touch that wet area. Just look at it. And let's actually grab some orchid. Maybe we mix it with some azure blue so it's like a violet color.
Ah, that one's my favorite.
Oh, look at it go. And then if you're feeling like, hey, I want to do a center, like I know that I am going to work on flowers, so maybe I'm going to do like a drop of pink right in that and let that just move. And let's do like a little bit of yellow here. So I'm going to take some yellow and mix it with a tiny bit of magenta, which is going to give it like an orangey kind of color. And let's drop that like right in the center. And notice that I'm not working the areas back and forth. I'm really just allowing the paint to move. I don't need to control.
It's doing painty things.
It's doing painty things. We trust the paint. We love the paint. We appreciate the paint. And then now that I've put down some color, I'm going to start. Ooh, I love what's happening here. Do you see that?
Yeah, let me zoom in again.
Okay.
Well, what paper are you using, by the way?
Oh, this is Let's Make Art paper, and I cut it down into a 5x7. But you can use whatever paper you have on hand.
Let's Make Art paper is a cold press. Don't say it. Cold press wood pulp paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you. I've been here for a while.
So I'm just kind of taking the color that's already there, and I'm just kind of smearing the color around, just to kind of like go off to the, like get closer to the edges too. And I feel like I need a stronger hint of color down here, and I'm really loving the magenta mixed with the orchid. So I'm going to put that more, but I didn't do a lot of like azure blue purple. So let's add that in there too.
Dang, that's awesome.
Isn't that stunning?
Stunning. I'm going to zoom back in. I have a hard time, you guys. Let me know in the comments. Would you rather be zoomed out to see everything, the palette included, or do you like the detail shot?
Ooh, that's a great question. Let Michael know.
It's impossible.
Okay, and I feel like I can go with a little bit more yellow along the edge here. Like just a touch, just like a little like, hey, I'm over here too, you know?
Pay attention to me.
Pay attention to me. We got color going on over here. And maybe also here, but just like a little bit.
I'm very full. I just ate dinner, but the yellow in the middle reminds me of a delicious egg yolk.
Yeah, totally.
Egg yolks are the best.
Okay. That's where we're going to kind of be.
Okay.
Just
love it.
Drop in colors. And this is what's so great about this project, because as you can see from like what I showed you guys of the artists I love, you can switch the color palette into whatever colors that you want. I decided to go with like bold, bright, happy colors because that's what was speaking to me. I've been painting a lot of like dark, moody paintings in my journal a lot, and I'm like, that's enough dark blue, Sarah. Like you need pink, you need purple.
You can tell that spring is coming is what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, people are saying they love... Oh, you're getting a mixture, honey.
I know.
Sorry.
It's all right.
So, as we're letting this dry, what we are going to do is we have 2 steps left. I just realized I didn't go for steps. Gosh, it's been a while since I did this. We did step 1, which is just a wet on wet. Step 2 is we're going to create floral shapes out of whatever happened here. And then 3 is when we're going to do the details. So it really is going to come together on that 3rd step. And right now, while we're letting this dry, I'm going to be looking at the bleeds and the colors and the shape, and I'm going to think about different floral shapes that I see here. Okay?
All right.
So like this one, like that's nice and round. I can see a good floral shape here. This one kind of went off. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's 2 flowers going on over here. And the nice thing about this kind of style too is like, you don't necessarily have to paint a flower where there are colors. You can sometimes just let the bleeds be. And it's more like this kind of area where we'll just do mark making on top instead of something like this where it looks like a flower. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm so excited for the details of these flowers. I mean, I've watched you paint a lot of things, but like, I don't know, this feels novel to me. I'm excited.
Thank you. I'm excited too. Okay. So now I'm going to just start laying flowers down. And again, I'm not putting too much pressure on myself. This is not a big deal. Everybody's is going to look different. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this yellow one right here. I'm going to mix an orange. And whenever you do details on top, you want to make sure that it shows up by making sure your paint color is a little bit of a darker value. So I'm going to make sure I'm picking up a nice amount of paint here. And I'm just going to use my round 6 to do like kind of daisy-like strokes.
You make it look so easy.
Thank you. And if you don't like this single stroke or you're really struggling with your shape, then you can do it in 2 strokes, just a curve and another curve. And I left room for a little bit of a center. If you don't, though, it's not a big deal because we're going to go back with pen and go over it. Okay, so there's that flower. That's it. That's all we're going to do there. We're going to move on to the next one. So I'm going to switch to my liner and let's pay attention to this flower right here. So I want it to be kind of ruffly. I'm going to think about how it kind of reminds me, like, I love the, I don't know what type of flower it is, but I'm just going to go with like the basic one that has a nice thick petal edge and then it narrows in to the center. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so I'm just going to kind of do that petal shape around. And remember, your petals do not need to be twins. That means they don't have to look exactly the same. Some can be shorter, some can be longer, some can have more of a wiggle to them. Like if you look at flower petals, they're all different. Okay, so don't put that expectation on them to be all the same.
Isn't that a saying for your eyebrows? Sisters, not twins.
Sisters, not twins. I know, I've been wanting to say it. And then now that I've shaped my petals, I can take my liner brush and doing these fine line details, I'm just going to connect the edge of the petals down to the center.
Julie says, are they cosmos? I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up.
Maybe cosmos.
Yeah, that looks like it could be it, definitely. I can't show you, Sarah, but
I trust you. I trust you guys.
You might be onto it, Julie. Julie Conrad.
Julie, thank you. Julie, thank you for your service. Okay, and you're just going to keep going with those lines. And again, here's the nice thing. We're still going to do pen detail on top and things like that. So don't get too caught up in this. We're not going for perfection here.
I love paintings like this that are just like really, really, really loose and then something goes on top of it. You know?
Yes, me too.
Very fun.
Me too. Okay, now let's go to this guy over here. I'm going to mix a little bit of my orchid with my magenta. So it's similar to that color, but I'm going to mix a little bit more orchid in there to make it just a little bit darker value. And I'm going to think about the different flower shapes that we have here. And this is where you're just going to take a second and be like, I kind of like, this looks like a petal edge to me a little bit, right? So I'm just going to kind of follow that. And then let's say this is the edge. Oh, this kind of reminds me of a snapdragon.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so here is the snap where it meets. And if you're like, what the heck is a snapdragon? Like, I don't know these flowers that you're talking about. That's okay. Don't feel frustrated that you can't like picture, or maybe an iris.
Yeah.
You know what I
iris
mean?
Also,
a bearded iris or something.
Yeah.
Don't, if you don't know flowers very much that you're like, one is not coming to mind, then just do these or just do little daisies. Honestly, it's not a huge deal.
Honestly, there's so many flowers. Again, like Sarah always says, there's one somewhere that probably looks like what you're making up, you know?
Yeah, totally. Ooh, I really like how that one turned out though. Like that was really fun.
I'm sorry for my tickly throat, everybody.
You're forgiven. Okay. This time, don't let it happen again. And then there might be some areas where we just kind of did the wash and we let the colors bleed. We didn't do blooms or anything in there really, so maybe the flower isn't quite there yet. And we can shape one. So let's do, I kind of want to leave a room for a leaf, because I kind of like bringing some leaves elements. And if you are going to paint a leaf into it, you're going to want to do it where there's a lighter value, so the green doesn't mess too much with like the pink or the purple. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
So knowing that, I'm like, okay, let's do another one of these flowers right here. Even though there's no one defined, I'm just going to define it. So let's say this is the center of my petal. And I'm just gonna do another. You can do like a circle and then split up the petals like so. Or you can do it petal by petal. And then we just do the lines. Honestly though, if you guys get a second and you want to just be totally inspired by people's creativity, looking at like how people use embroidery on photographs and other paintings, watercolors, all of that kind of stuff, it's just so gorgeous. And how we kind of try and mimic that thread or that shine or that shape is through the pen work and the line work that we're doing here. Okay, so that feels good.
Penny said the deeper purple ones. You know those purple thistle flowers, those really tall ones that here in the summer?
Oh,
so
yes.
Like those.
Yes, I can totally see that. Okay, I'm going to do just like the corner of one here, like the edge, like this flower is on its side. Okay. And then I'll just take, so it's kind of like a triangle shape here.
It's like a wizard's hat.
And then it's all, oh my gosh, that's all I can see now. And then we're just gonna follow those lines back to the corner here. And for this one, I kind of really like almost a firework shape. Can you think of what the visual of that? So you just do small strokes.
Like a little aster?
Yeah, like little asters that get a little bit bigger maybe. Because this reminds me of like the threads.
Yep, love it.
Okay, that feels good. And now is where I maybe want to add some leaves. So for the leaves here, I'm going to mix my yellow with my blue. And how much blue you add in is going to determine if it's more turquoisey or if you want to keep it more green. If you want to tone down the vibrancy of the green, you can add a little bit of magenta or a little bit of like orange in there or something, maybe even a little purple. All of that is going to add like a muddiness to it, which will tone down the vibrancy. So I'm going to go with kind of more of a turquoisey blue, and I'm going to be like, let's put you over here.
Oh, what a great color. Dang.
Yeah, isn't that pretty?
Yep, love it.
But I do kind of want like more yellow blue, a yellow green too. So let's grab that color, and I kind of want to put it maybe here.
It's kind of my favorite color palette, like purples and turquoisey greens.
Yeah, isn't it pretty?
Yeah.
It's really fun to work with like vibrant colors every once in a while,
Yeah. People have so many ideas about flowers. I'm not reading them all, but you guys, these are all awesome.
Oh, good. That's so good, because when your brain starts to look for things and recognize things, like that's your creativity going. So that's you saying, okay, let's see, like what else can I see in this? And it just like goes and goes and goes. Okay. And we'll go back and add lines and stuff on those leaves to make them kind of pop, and we can do more that way. I'm just thinking about like the solid color. And I'm not convinced about that lime green. I think it needs to be darker. So I'm going to take some green. Let's mix some blue and orange in there. And that's going to give me more of an earthy green. Yeah, that feels better.
Much better.
That feels better. Okay. Okay. That feels like a good starting place. And now what we're going to do is we're going to start adding pen details. Now, just because we're adding pen details, that doesn't mean that we can't pick up more paint. Of course we can pick up more paint. But at this point, we're going to start adding the details. And by adding that, it's going to inform what else our painting needs. And so maybe our painting does just need pen details, or after we added them, maybe we're like, hey, this could really do with another flower over here or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab white. I'm using just a Uniball white pen. And on this orange one, I'm gonna do short little strokes following the petal shape, like this.
Cool. Super cool.
And doesn't that look
Yes.
like actual thread?
Yeah.
I also love these types of paintings because you can just like zone out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. They're like therapeutic feeling.
Yeah. Honestly, this white pen on the orange flower is like my favorite part of the whole painting.
Jane says, Old Let's Make Art did a vase with mauve flowers. Does that sound familiar?
Old Let's Make Art.
Like old in the olden days? It was
Yeah.
like a project with a vase with flowers in it.
We did a vase with tulips in it.
Tulips?
Maybe
that was
that's it. Okay.
Yeah, I love that so much. It does look like thread.
Yes, isn't that good?
Yes.
Okay, and then I can take this white pen and I can go over edges of what I've already done, which I will. And do you see how like my pen is skipping? Mm-hmm. That's okay. This is like the one time where I'm not mad about it. Well, not the one time, but the...
Isn't that your whole segment?
I mean, the one time I'm not mad about my pen skipping, because the skippiness actually adds to that feeling of light hitting thread.
Yeah.
It makes it feel a little bit more metallic instead of that consistent line, okay? So let's add some gold too. You can even add different paint colors in here. So if you wanted to add lines of purple or lines of orange, like you absolutely can, and it would be gorgeous. It would be so beautiful. Here, I'm gonna do gold pens too, and the pen work really shows up beautifully on dark values.
Dang, that's awesome. That's my favorite flower of the bunch. Wow, that orange one's pretty good too.
And then the other thing I was thinking about as I was adding these kind of like thread details is they sometimes also do beads. And so I'm like, why can't I do beads? 1000% I can do beads. So I'm gonna do little circles as if I'm beading the edge of this flower or the center of a flower.
Let me zoom out and look. Yeah, you could totally lie to me and tell me that that was thread on some of those. You know?
I know, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So I'm going over the beads with, I'm like adding white circles on top to kind of mimic those beads. I'm also going to add some white circles in the center of this flower here. And let's also bring out this micron.
People say they have a hard time getting those white pens to write on watercolor. Do you have any hot tips, Sarah? Just push hard. Wipe it on a paper towel?
Yeah, like sometimes it will pick up paint, and so maybe wiping it on the paper towel first will help. I think it also depends on like the brand too. Like some are more watercolor friendly.
Penny says she puts glitter nail polish on her flowers.
Oh my gosh, that's genius.
That is a great idea.
And then we can just keep, so this one I kind of did that like aster that we made like almost look like a firework. And I'm just going to keep going with the white kind of going out from it. Let that go into the orange, into the surrounding purple. Add a gold center. Okay, that's looking good. And the other really fun thing is, yes, we're adding like things that maybe look like thread, but we could also play with just mark making. So if I take like a white pen and I want to do almost like these dashes that go kind of up and down, you can, and that's like adding texture onto this, you know what I mean? So it's almost like a combination of different marks on here, as well as that kind of embroidery look. Okay, how are we doing? This is looking good. I actually want to take some of this dark and add some dark lines on this too. And then I'll go back and add highlights. And this painting might feel a little bit all over the place, and that's because it is. You know what I mean? We're looking at what's in front of us and reacting to it. And, you know, problem solving in real time, or coming up with creative solutions in real time, which is actually so good for your creativity to do this. And if you feel a little bit lost or frustrated, it's okay. It's not bad to feel that, because that's just called discomfort of having to make your own decisions, which it is uncomfortable. It is scary. But the practice of being able to sit with that discomfort and create anyway, or keep going anyway, is how you guys will be able to one day make your own artwork. You know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't have to follow a tutorial necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's good practice for you to kind of feel this. Oh, I'm already so in love with it. Okay, I added more magenta onto my palette because I really love this guy right here, and I want that color more. So I'm gonna add that color more. Let's maybe add it here. And then I'm just gonna blend it out.
Would you say that's fuchsia?
Yes, fuchsia. Not the Let's Make Art fuchsia, because that's like a more vibrant pink. This is definitely more like a purpley.
No one asked. It's just for my own personal. I'm trying to get better at recognizing colors. You know?
Oh, I see. Okay. We're gonna let that dry. I'm not gonna touch it. Let's go to the leaves and add some details there. So I'm just gonna take my liner and using like a dark blue, just follow the shape. Okay. The other thing I thought we can do, and this is where I kind of got inspired by different embroidery marks, is, have you ever seen those where they kind of look like little flowers, but they're like knots almost? If you haven't looked at embroidery, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But they basically are like, I'm gonna just do a swirl like that.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
Okay.
They look like a closed rosebud almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's just by like pulling thread through almost in a knot. So we can introduce that texture and that shape to this painting. So whenever I need like a little bit of movement going somewhere, I like to add this little, and then you can decide the direction you want it to go into. So I can kind of activate this space down here by just doing this detailing like that.
They're everyone's chiming in. They're called French knots.
Ah, thank you guys. You guys are so great. French knot, yes. That's exactly it. One day I have a dream of doing embroidery when I'm going to get into it. I just know it. I just love it too much.
We have a tiny house with busy kids. I feel like embroidery would be all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I'm going to have to wait.
They get into that thread. They're like cats.
It will happen in another season. It will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we can also use our paint colors to create that type, like a French knot almost. Or if you want to look at, again, this is where you can look at different embroidery and be like, okay, look at these tiny little flowers. Look at those long leaves. Like, that's gorgeous. Yeah. So you can look at some things that other embroidery artists have done with their mark making and their beadwork and say, okay, how can I introduce these kinds of textures or movement or colors into my painting? So I saw some that were kind of like little flowers like this. So let's add those.
Little itty bitties.
Little itty bitties. Oh, yes. Oh, isn't that cute? Mm-hmm. Okay, and let's add some more itty bitties over here. And this time I'm going to change up the color to be more of this blue violet because it's on the bottom right of my composition and the bottom left, but it's not really anywhere else. So I want to introduce this color in the top portion compositionally, okay? Mm-hmm. So we'll just add some itty bitties there. And it's okay if it goes into the white area as well. Yeah, that feels better. See how that kind of talks to this over here?
Right.
Okay. And I think I'm going to do another big leaf right here. Okay, that feels good. And if you don't like painting the itty bitty flowers, you can use your pen. Actually, let's do it in white. That would look better on the orange.
I love how excited you are about all these, Sarah.
I love it. Let's add some gold detail in here. Like, this is definitely one, you know how like in watercolor, I'm like, don't overwork it. You're gonna wanna overwork it. Don't do it. This one, overworking does not exist. You could just go and go and go and go, and I bet you would just get cooler and cooler and cooler. The only thing that you might accidentally overwork would be your initial wet on wet wash, because if you overwork that too much, that could just turn into mud. That's the only thing. Besides that, like with these pen details, like just go crazy. Why not, you know? Oh gosh, I love it. I'm gonna do some pen details on this leaf. I mean, yeah, I said that right. I said that right. And then you can even do like little stems of leaves coming out. It's better to just fill up, okay? It's okay to have these like rest areas. Like, I think the color transition behind here, how it goes from like purple to orange to white, that's really lovely. And it gives it like a little bit of breathing room, that it's not hard color underneath or a lot of color underneath. So it's okay to have that breathing room in there, but like this area feels a little bare to me, you know, and so I want to add something in here to kind of activate this space. And so you kind of want to look through and say, where's their breathing room and where is there room that we need to like spice it up, you know what I mean?
That gold one you just did reminds me of a sprig of thyme, and I want to use like my finger and thumb to scrape the little leaves off into the pot.
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, it does look like thyme.
Time reminds me of my parents' house. They had a bunch of woolly thyme that my dog would lay in, and my dog always just smelled like herbs.
Yeah, I love that about your parents' yard, how they have that woolly thyme. Okay, maybe I'll do like right here. I'm trying to think, what flower do I want to do here? I think I'm going to do white, and maybe I'll just stick with like that kind of daisy look, but I'll just do a smaller one right next to it. So here's a petal. Here's a petal. And you can see like this is looking so different from my first one. And that is actually beautiful because I feel like you could do this same project over and over and over again with the same colors and get something completely different every single time. And that, my friend, is so magical.
I almost bet you couldn't get the same project if you tried real hard.
No,
you know?
I don't think. I mean, like maybe, but yeah, look at how fun that is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And maybe I'll add a little bit of gold in there. If you want to do some like color and pen, some paint, I mean, you can. That's cute. Okay.
Just for my own asking, can we do that top fuchsia looking one?
Yeah, I was waiting for it to dry.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I want something on that.
I want that to dry a little bit longer. So let's do some white centers on these. And notice that so much of the mark making is just scribbling. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
that doesn't make it less valuable or less of a good mark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I did these kind of like vertical marks up here. I'm going to keep that going in gold this time.
Call me crazy, but I would love a whole living room rug of this.
Oh my gosh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes.
We should do seasonal rugs. Is that a thing?
Yeah. If you're super wealthy. Seasonal rugs. Yeah, the 1% live like that, my dear.
Okay, all right. It was worth a shot. The white pen is a Uniball gel pen.
Both of my gold and my white are both Uniball gel pens, and then the darker one is a sepia, which I pronounce it sepia, and I like that better.
I think it's a better word.
I think so too.
Sepia sounds like moist.
Feels
you
like
know?
it's seeping. Okay, and I'm gonna do the edge of the petals also in this white. And I don't know, I feel like we'll see if I can get some yellow on there. I kind of want to do yellow in the center of that flower, but it might be too dark, so let's try it.
I've been keeping secret track of my favorite flower on here the whole time, and let me tell you what, the little itty bitties on the top left they stole my heart.
These ones?
They're the best.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah, I love them. My favorite flower on your old painting is, it's a tie. It's the pink and yellow one, kind of mid-center left,
Yeah.
and the big shell-looking one on the bottom right.
Ooh, mine's this one. I just love that one.
That's pretty.
And again, like, I feel like there were some people that got some, I wish I could remember what they were called, but they were like, they almost have the texture of lipsticks, but they're like crayons almost, these pens. I think once upon a time we used them in art journaling. I'm trying to remember what they were called. But anyways, that kind of material would be great for something like this too. You know what I mean? Like anything that's kind of interesting that will make a good mark. Ooh, look at that yellow center I got.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ralph's asking about watercolor pencils. Would that work?
Watercolor pencils would work. Yes, absolutely. You'd probably get some gorgeous stuff on here with watercolor pencils.
Gelatos.
Yes, gelatos. Thank you, gelatos.
I love the community so much. It's like having a huge brain. And so like when you can't remember something, just people come through. You
They're
know?
like, let me tell you exactly.
I'm just gonna stream live all the time, and then when I need to know something, I'll just like ask it, and you guys can answer all day.
All day. Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm really loving how this is turning out.
Are they also called Neo colors? Is that a thing?
Neo colors that's not what I was thinking, but Neo colors would work great.
You're welcome, Ralph.
I'm gonna do a little more itty bitties over here, just to kind of.
Oh my gosh, that's like such a good color.
Isn't that pretty?
You're giving me a hard time because I've historically always loved purple, but now I'm like, which purple, you know?
I know. And I feel like I want to introduce that color over here too. So let's do some little itty bitties. And notice how I'm not even fully completing the flower. And this is what's so great is like you don't have to fully render anything. People are going to look at this and understand botanicals, you know?
Yep. Sarah, you're an artist. We're talking about Neo colors. The company who makes them is like, I don't know how to say it, Caran Dash. Do you know what it is?
Caran Dash.
Caran Dash. Oh, that makes sense.
I think.
Now that you know how to say it, it makes sense to read it that way.
Do you know who knows is Hadley? Because
yeah. Hadley, chime in.
yeah, because she kept on saying it, and I'm like, wait, is that how you actually pronounce it? She's like, yes, and I'm like, oh, I've been saying it wrong.
What's the difference between the Neo colors and gelatos? Just drastically different product.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the details off the top of my head.
Okay.
Okay, now I think it's time to handle this guy right here.
It is time.
It is time. So I'm going to kind of mimic what I did here.
Oh, wait. Zoom out.
This one. But I'm going to do it here, and it's going to be more like a sun ray effect.
Okay.
Upside down.
These are dandelion paints you're using?
Yes.
They're dandelion paints, guys.
So let's do this. Already I love it.
These remind me of, oh my gosh, scallops, the animal.
Yes. Okay, and then I'm going to take a dark purple, and I'm going to do some line work following this shape.
Someone said your accent is cute, and it's so funny because we've lived in Missouri, and now I think we have little accents.
Do we have accents?
I don't know. I don't feel like it.
I think I just say words wrong.
Just don't know how to talk, right? I find myself matching people's accents wherever we go. Sarah makes fun of me all the time.
He does, because he doesn't know that he does it. And I'm afraid that they're going to notice and think that he's making fun of them, but he doesn't realize that he's doing that.
I'm not making fun of him. I get sucked into it.
I know.
We can never go to Australia because I have a terrible Australian accent,
Oh
and they would know.
my gosh. Where were we that I had to like pinch your arm a little bit and be like, honey, don't.
I probably everywhere we've ever been.
Any country, any place. Okay, so I'm doing kind of like beading detail along the edge here.
Boston.
Boston, that was it. Oh my gosh, when we went to Boston. I mean, like, any heavily accented place is not safe from Michael. And again, what kills me is he has no idea that he's doing
I just
it.
match accent.
He just has no idea.
Coxcomb. That's what that looks like. Yes.
Okay, now I'm just kind of doing gold details coming out from it. Oh, yes.
Hadley said gelatos are buttery looking, whereas Neo color are like a traditional wax crayon kind of.
Yeah, that's right, Hadley. Thank you, Hadley. Hadley, you're so great.
Hadley's a peach.
Hadley, oh to Hadley. What would we do without you?
Cry a lot more, probably.
Die. I would just die. Okay. Ah, look at it!
Love it so much.
Okay. This is feeling really good. I'm loving all the different things. I'm going to add some of my sepia pen here in the center. And don't be afraid of dark colors. Don't be afraid. Because the different values that we have going on here, the dark sepia pen or the white pen or their loose washes, all of that kind of stuff, it gives it that kind of three-dimensionality that makes it look like it's popping out of the page. And having that range is good. So don't shy away from it. And this is only like a 5x7 little painting. So you can always like restart. And actually the first time I did this, I did 2 of them simultaneously because I really was nervous. I had an idea, but I never tried it before. And so I was just like, I'm going to have 2 going simultaneously. I had 2 different color palettes because I wasn't sure which color palette I wanted to go with. And that gave me so much freedom. And then halfway through, I was just like, no, this is it. So I just tossed that one that I was working on because I didn't like it. And I still had one. You know what I mean?
Right. I need you to do me a huge favor. People have been asking.
Yeah.
I need you to lay that micron pen down on the desk and let us see what the size of the tip is. There we go. People, there you go, everybody. Because I
05.
love you. Because I love all of you.
Is that good?
That's it. All right, keep going.
Okay. This is looking, I like this one better.
Yeah, I
Then
actually
this
do
one.
too. Actually do too. Also, to try and back in, Amy looked it up. It's Caron d'Oche.
Caron d'Oche. Oh, okay, great. Good to know.
It's French.
It's French. Perfect. So my details are feeling really good. I would say the only part that's feeling empty is probably this space right here. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
Put your signature there.
right in the middle. I'm just going to fill in with this little leaf here, and you can do smaller leaves here. You don't have to do like nice long ones if you don't want to, you know what I mean? And I'm going to decide what I want to do. Let's do little orange flowers. It feels right.
Orange teeny tinies?
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I think people are trying to get me to match accents via text. I'm not going for it.
It doesn't work that way. He has to hear it.
My New York hubby does the same thing. Blonde with blue eyes talking Hawaiian doesn't fit right.
Yes. Hawaiian, yes.
Yeah, no, I do it in Hawaii big time.
Oh,
We lived there. I got bad too. And
Yeah.
when I talk to like native Missourian, my Missouri accent's real bad too.
yeah. I read somewhere that actually means that you're a very empathetic listener. Because you're like, you know.
Mocking people.
No, it's not mocking.
I know.
Okay.
Man. Yeah, let me zoom back out. Let me do a quick. Yeah, the second one's good. Your top little purple bloom kind of in the middle right is beautiful.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think it wins over the rest of the bottom. That bottom one's stunning.
And this is what I love about this too, because I'm going to find things that I love about this painting, and I'm going to find things that I love about this painting, and that doesn't devalue either of them. And that is what it's so fun. I'm doing darker like pink strokes in here because I feel like it could handle like little hints of darker color within this flower.
Sorry, let me zoom back in.
I want to do like an entire spread of like this would be gorgeous in the watercolor calendar in my journal. Like I'm so excited about this type of thing. I think it's just so fun.
Oh yeah, this would make an excellent spring calendar thing.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
March maybe? Nah.
No, April for sure. Or
March
May.
is St. Patrick's Day, right? So we're just doing all green theme.
A green wash.
We're painting a corned beef.
There we yeah, and
Just
cabbage.
a boiled corned beef and cabbage.
Perfect. Okay. And I feel like it can do with a little bit. I'm going to do some just darker red strokes on top of that orange before I add some details just to give it different values and color information. Yeah. And you can even like bleed color that's already been painted if you're feeling a little bit edgy, where it's just like, I kind of want this purple color to go up to that corner. Okay, do it.
Oh my gosh, Daniel asked if you're ever going to bring the floral workbook back. Is that something you've been thinking about?
It is something I've been thinking about. And if I was thinking about it and if I was going to do it, I would probably release it in April.
Oh, well, you know, theoretically,
Theoretically.
my birthday's in April and I love plants, so that checks out.
That feels right.
So if you were going to do the floral workbook as a reprint, maybe with some even updated, you know, quality of life features.
Yeah, like outlines added in the back.
Outlines
I
in
don't
the back.
know, though.
If you were to have done that, April probably would be the best.
It feels right.
Oh, Hadley just came out and said April. Makes sense.
That looks like stop being ridiculous.
Anita, I'm sorry, I can't zoom in any closer. We've got this option, and we've got this option.
And this is, I'm just like spreading out some color. You can put even the gold pen down. You can even smear it. Like, that creates a really beautiful texture as well. So don't be afraid to make a mess. Amy
corrected, it's diosh, as in, oh my gosh, it's that noise. Osh.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just gonna do one final dry, and I'm gonna do some little white details on my itty bitties there. And I'm gonna call this good.
Yep. Excellent.
I love it so much.
Hadley says, in her defense, she said it before we were doing it. She like typed it, you know what I mean?
Hadley doesn't have to
Hadley's
explain herself
Hadley's
ever.
our boss, you guys. You don't know this, but she runs this thing.
She runs this thing. She never has to explain herself to me. Okay. Let's do a little bit of white because I really love that on the orange. Oh, yes. Oh, gosh, yes. And I think I want to do this type of mark making on the left-hand side because I did it kind of other areas. Okay. I think she's done.
It's beauty.
I love her so much. And we're going to remove the tape. Now, for those who aren't entirely sure what our Let's Make Art Matter is, every month we choose someone or like a program or even someone, like we leave it kind of up to you of who you want to send a card to. But basically we paint cards and we send them to someone to give them a little art hug. And this month it's going to someone named Lydia. And so if you purchase the January projects, then her address and all of that information is already part of your printed materials. If you don't have the January projects, but you still would like to send her a card, we love that. We support that. All you have to do is email us at hello@letsmakeart.com and we will share the mailing information with you so you can send them a postcard. And if there is someone that you want to nominate to receive Let's Make Art Matter postcards, we have that on our website. Okay?
Listen, as someone, you guys did this for my mom when she had cancer, and it meant so much to her. They're meaningful for people, you know?
Actually, I want to share this story then. We had them, they came out to visit us. They live in California. They came out to visit us, and Michael found these really cool cards that are like, parents are humans too, or kids are humans too. And basically it's these cards that you just ask questions to. That's like, what is something that was really important to you, or something like that. And we were asking his parents these questions, and we said, what is an example of someone showing you extreme kindness? And the one that she came up with was when she received all of those painted postcards from you guys in this community. She just said that, like, she had them all laid out on her table, and the messages on the back, she said, were just, she said it was one of the kindest things she's ever experienced. And so if we get too much in our head about sending someone a postcard, I understand, because we want it to be nice. We don't want them to look at this and be like, what is this? You know, because that's, you know, it's vulnerable to send someone a painting, especially someone you don't know. But as someone, like people that we have talked to who have been recipients of them, they don't actually care about the perfect painting. It amazes them that someone who they don't know would take time out of their day to paint them something. Like, that's so special. And I truly believe that when we can just show up for each other, even people that we don't know, and say, I'm thinking about you. You're not alone in this. We really can make the world a kinder place. And I think it's up to us. It's up to us as people and how we interact in our everyday life, and these small little things that we can do. That, I think, is what brings love and understanding and empathy and kindness into the world. And we can do that. We don't have to wait for other people to do it, okay? So, thank you for joining me. I hope that you guys send Lydia some cards. I'm going to remove my tape. Now, if I was a good person, I mean like a rule follower, you would want to leave this taped to the desk for at least a day, because then that paper is going to dry more flat. Oh, I want a shirt made out of this. Like, I just look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so fun. This is our project. Thank you so much for painting along. I just had the best time. Again, if you need Lydia's address, you can email us at hello@letsmakeart.com and we will send that to you. Okay, are you guys now ready for the reveal?
What you've been waiting for.
February project.
In the left corner. I don't know.
Okay. We gotta set the scene.
Paint us a scene, if you will.
So I was thinking about February, and as I was thinking about February and what I wanted it to feel like, I think that with the craziness of the holidays, and January, at least for us, has been like a harsh cold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been biting.
It's biting, it's aggressive, you're just kind of exhausted, like all of these things. And so I thought, when I approach February, I want to approach this with softness. So I thought of gentle pinks, and I thought about cuddly little hugs. I thought about elegance. I thought about delicate. Okay, so really I'm approaching this month from a sense of softness.
Love it.
So for our first project, we are going to be painting a very, very sweet, drumroll please, penguin family.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
It's so cute. I love it. And this is so great because we're doing wet on wet to do these baby penguins, which you'll hear me die in the video. I
think I made Sarah laugh the hardest we've ever done in a video during this. I had a good idea.
All of this is wet on wet. These are techniques that you guys know. We do add some like shadows and stuff like that for form, but overall, this is a very friendly project, okay? Because again, we've been really pushing ourselves the last couple of months, and I want us to approach something more gentle. Okay, so this is a gentle project. I love it. It's darling. You can adjust it to, you could do just two little babies. You can do, a mom and a baby, all of these things. You can do whatever you want. Okay?
Yeah. Is there anything cuter than a baby fuzzy penguin?
Oh my gosh. I love it. And it's so fun to paint. It is so fun to paint that you are really you're just gonna love it. Okay. Our second project.
Okay.
As I was thinking about Valentine's Day, of course, I was thinking about flowers.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because
Yes.
it's so beautiful, and I wanted to create a painting that feels complete, that is kind of in between illustration and realism. Okay, so we have some illustrative elements, but we still layer to create that form, but we have something that's really simple, elegant, and delicate. Okay, so drum roll please, parrot tulip.
Oh.
It's just clean. It's clean, it's simple. We have a great time painting this. It really doesn't take very long, and it just feels like this can be framed, put up in your house. Like you don't need anyone to buy you flowers. You can paint your own flowers. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Love it.
For our third painting, I was thinking about the soft breeze right as the sun is setting. So we have that pink glow, and imagine some delicate, lacy curtains moving in the wind from the open window.
This one's my favorite, by the way.
So we will be painting lace curtains.
That one's so good.
And so in this project, I talk through the actual like artist and painting that inspired this. I talk through all of the visual cues that we can use to create optical illusions of transparent layers. Okay? And it's gonna kind of blow your mind because it's not that difficult. Or complicated, I guess.
It surprised me, and I've watched you paint a million things.
Yeah, it like Michael, he was just like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
That's how you do it?
Yes. Okay. Now this, okay. Usually I don't show the bonus. I don't, if you guys buy it, you'll know that there's usually a bonus. Sometimes it's a recipe, sometimes it's a screensaver, and sometimes it's an extra tutorial. And this time it's an extra tutorial. And I had the hardest time deciding like which projects to make the main ones. Because here's the thing. I was afraid to lean too far in to Valentine's Day cutesy kind of love kind of stuff, because I know some people really don't like that. And then I just thought, you know what? Let's lean all the way in. Like, why not? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if it's not for you, that's okay. Please don't tell me. And I just wanted to have fun, and I wanted it to feel light, and I wanted it to feel playful, and I wanted to do something that we've never really done before. Okay?
Okay.
So for our bonus project for February, we're gonna do a cute little illustration cafe.
Unbelievably cute.
That's so cute. I'm calling it Valentine Cafe. It makes me so happy.
So cute.
And I'm gonna show you how you can do these kind of really beautiful, loose washes and add pen work. And that is why I need you guys to get any kind of waterproof pen. It doesn't have to be Micron. There's a bunch of other different brands that does waterproof pens, because we are going to add that to our illustration.
Unbelievably cute.
And I'm going to show you, like this one I made a croissant themed. It's a croissant shop. So you guys could start here, and then you can think about what type of shop you want it to be. Plants or books or flowers or candies. Or guitars, you know, like whatever you want. And you can make a cute little storefront. Okay?
Adorable.
So that is your February. Okay, so that is going to be available starting February 1. These projects will only be available within that month. When the month is over, all the projects go into the vault until we open up the archive, where you can buy the projects individually at a higher price point. So I had a blast painting these, and remember, the theme this month is I'm really going for like gentle and softness. So if you've been feeling a little bit frustrated by the challenges, especially like January was a challenging month. I'm not gonna lie, I pushed you guys in January. I was like, we are doing this. And we created some gorgeous paintings. The stuff you have been sharing in the watercolor group has been fantastic to see. But sometimes we need to approach ourselves with a little bit of softness, especially when we've been really pushing it a bit further than we usually do. We need to be gentle to ourselves. So that's what we're doing with this month. So I'm so excited. It's going to be great starting February 1. If you want to get those January projects, you have until the 31st to get those before they're gone. I think
that's it.
And then the watercolor calendars, again, just a reminder, they're sold out for now, but we're getting new ones in stock, hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
They've been ordered.
They're on order, and we will continue releasing videos to fill these out. Okay?
Excellent.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you truly enjoyed these paintings to send to Lydia. God, look at it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to I'm going to put all 4 projects on overhead so you guys can see. I have to layer them because there's not enough room. Okay? All right.
Cute. All right.
Thank you guys for being here. I had a blast. It was so fun to paint with you, and I'll see you guys later.